Entrepreneurs Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneurs Enigma. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneurs Enigma podcast. I am, as always, your host with the most. I hate that. I got to change it up somehow. Anyhow, host with the mostest, Seth. Today, I have a good buddy of mine, Coleman, of Stranger Studios, of Paid Membership Pro, of, more stuff than I think I even know about. She and her husband, Jason, are very big in the WordPress ecosystem, even so much so that Jason got into some words with the head honcho of the WordPress project, Matt Mullenweg. Actually, Matt went after Jason. Jason's a big teddy bear, and we all are like, don't pick on Jason. He's a big teddy bear. So we'll leave that one alone. But if you want, it's out there. So if you want to figure out what the hell happened, just Google it. It's out there. It's once you put stuff out on the internet, it's out there. So let me bring Kim in here before I get her more in trouble than we should here.
Not at
How's
all.
it going, Kim? How you doing?
It's good. I'm just here laughing through the intro because it was so fun. Setting a good stage.
It was. And so you work with your husband. God bless you. Seriously, my wife Meredith helps me with Goldstein Media, but she doesn't work with me. You are partners in the business. You have been doing this for what, 15, 16 years, something like that?
Yeah, I graduated college in 2006. So yeah, 17 years working together. Paid Memberships Pro is in year 13. So
wow, and you haven't killed each other yet.
Nope. We've had moments
it helps that he's a big
really,
teddy bear. It helps that he's a big teddy bear.
He's good.
I'm sure there's moments when you're like, oh my God, I need a break. Hence the reason why you took a break and you went to Tibet.
Yes, right? That was a great break.
And you got a break from him and the kids and all that and the doggies and all that. But that's, we'll go back into that a little bit, like, how that's one of the things about being entrepreneurs that, look, you can do eat, pray, love a little bit. As you said, you can go with your friend and say, I'm taking 3 weeks off and just going to go gallivanting around Asia, for crying out loud. I mean, that's awesome. It's a very Kim Coleman thing to do, I think. It's very like your kind of vibe. Like, I'm going to go explore.
Yes.
Exactly. So how did this all get started? So you graduated college in 2006 and you just jumped right into it.
Yeah, definitely. Jason and I had been doing freelance website development. We were finding jobs on Craigslist, taking any project we could. And he had graduated prior to me and had a job with a big consulting firm, Accenture. And when I graduated, we had a lot of projects lined up. And I had most of the skills myself and some weekend time from Jason to keep those projects going. I think I just looked at my life and I was like, this is better than getting a full-time job, starting entry level, being at the bottom of the list of people. And it was really what I wanted to do because it touched on so many aspects of what I enjoyed. Business, that was my major. Entrepreneurship was my minor. Creativity with the web development and design. Yeah. So it fed all of those pieces of what I needed.
So there was actually entrepreneurial classes in 2006 because there wasn't anything like that at Delaware where I went in 2004 when I graduated. Now it's big. Now it's like the thing.
Like, even in high schools, I'm seeing entrepreneur classes, which I think is awesome. I'm not sure
that's really something you want to like always encourage. I mean, I feel like it's a special breed of person that should do it. I think some of the classes and learning about it makes good employees so they understand what their bosses are going through, that kind of thing. So
that's true.
But so then it's a fast forward. So you're 17 years and at year 13 into it, you start Paid Membership Pro, which is like one of the best at least in my humble opinion, membership plugins for WordPress. That really helps you kind of like segment your site so that like this is for public consumption. This is for people who want to pay me something or have a coupon code or what. It's a good way to lock up your site in a strategic manner. And so what made you pivot from that? And then eventually that's all you do. Well, that's not all you do, but Jason has his hands in an LMS now and all that, but but that's really your bread and butter is Paid Membership Pro.
Absolutely.
And you're not doing a lot of side stuff anymore, are you? We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show.
No, the projects I was working on from 2006 up to Well, Jason stopped his consulting job a few months after I graduated college. They let him take a 6-month sabbatical, unpaid. And he said, like, can I just try this? Can I go full time? So he and I were full time on that. By the time 2008, we had our first child and we had some birth complications.
Oh,
We were still doing consulting and all those things. My son was in the hospital. I was like waiting for Jason to get off a call with a client, going to see my son in the NICU.
yeah.
And we were like, this has to change. Like, we wanted this type of freelance work so that our lives could be flexible. Here at the
Mhm.
point in our life where we needed them to be the most flexible, we couldn't be. So
Yeah.
between 2008 and 2011, we kind of more of our projects took on an e-commerce and membership type focus. This is like
Oh.
really when, Facebook was big, but there weren't private communities. There wasn't a market leader in WordPress for membership. S2 member was on the market. Wishlist
Yeah.
member was coming about. This is before MemberPress, about the time Restrict Content Pro came out. So everyone was kind of seeing this in their consulting projects,
Mhm.
more membership focus, more WordPress as an application.
Yeah, that's very cool. And so you kind of saw the writing on the wall and you're like, let's prioritize stuff. And you went that way. So here's a question for you. I mean, we kind of answered this a little bit because you went to Asia for most of September. But what's the best thing about being an entrepreneur in your mind?
In my mind, it's being able to juggle home and work needs pretty seamlessly. Although people say, work-life balance, to me, that isn't fixed hours working, fixed hours doing your home life. It's
Yeah.
knowing when you need to flex both of those things. So for me, it's that I can wake up at 6, get an hour of work in, triage with my international team, get my kids off to school, go to the grocery store, do a little laundry, and then sit back down and have some work sessions. So I will say I work after dinner some nights, not every night, but I think I keep it healthy by giving myself time during the day to shop when no one's shopping,
Oh,
to
it's so
get things done,
wonderful.
go on a
Yeah.
dog walk, all of that stuff. Don't feel bad about working weird hours or weekends if you're flexing time during the week.
Oh, I love it. Like if I needed to do laundry, it's like I can just walk outside my office and throw the laundry and come back and then, oh, it's done. Time to switch it. I can do it. It's like it's not like, oh, I'm on a call after call after call, which can happen, but like I can set my own schedule, which I like too, which is kind of cool. And then what's on the flip side? Because I mean, you said like I can sympathize because my kid had complications at birth, was in the NICU for 6 weeks and all that stuff, and that kind of killed my entrepreneurial journey for about a year and a half. I went to corporate, decided that I can't deal with that crap. It's a whole different ball game that I was not wired for. And so, what keeps you up at night besides Jason kicking you?
Definitely early days, it was, will we make rent? Will we have enough
Mhm.
incoming? Will people pay us in time? Now with a product type business, it's very stable. So I don't worry about that as much anymore, but
That's
I did
wonderful.
have
Yeah.
those. That was the flip side for me for many years. I think now the flip side is like, my kids see me working because I work when they're video gaming, and to them, their perspective is, mom works all the time.
Mm.
Also with our kids, because we work together, they see us having heated work discussions that they
Oh,
sometimes, when they were younger, they would interpret as mom and dad are fighting. And we've tried to show them, like, we're not fighting with each other, we're discussing a work thing and we both care passionately about it.
and
Or
also a
we're
lot of times
having trouble
that's
with a
obvious.
team
Yeah.
member. Yep.
And it's often with work things, you're arguing about it, and there's frustration behind it as well, not with each other, but with the situation. So then you're already kind of fired up, and then you say something, and Jason doesn't agree with you, and then it's just ugh. And now I'm sure the kids are more like, they're just discussing work.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think my kids will be entrepreneurs after what they've experienced with me. Even though
Really?
it seems to benefit their lives, I think they're like, I don't want that stress. I don't want that always on. They hear
Mm.
the negative sides of it, and I don't think they realize what other families' balance is like when mom's working for someone
Yeah.
else or mom's outside the house.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool because, like, if the kids have like a Halloween parade or something like that, you both can go. It's
Yes.
not a matter of like if only one's a entrepreneur and the other one's an intrapreneur or whatever in house of the company, then it's all on the entrepreneur side to go. All right, you got to adjust your schedule.
Yes.
It's a neat little dichotomy there, and you guys still like each other. At least looking at you guys, and I see you guys at conferences and see you guys in person, you seem like you still kind of like each other, which is a good thing. It's
I
hard.
Yeah, it's so hard. We spend a ton of time together. So the the break I had in September was nice. And Jason's going to take a sabbatical at the end of this year for 6 weeks. He'll still be home, but he's going to create distance from work in a way that, you know, in the way he chooses to. I'm not going to try to control it, but
Yeah.
we've had our bumps where the stress it created in our relationship, we questioned whether continuing to work together was the right choice. But we're on a good
Well,
high right now,
that's
and we
good.
just
Keep going
check
with
in
it.
and yeah.
And I think you're on a good track where you're like, you went to Asia for, well, I mean, you really got the hell out of Dodge. I mean, you went on the other, literally drilled through the center of the earth, went to the other side pretty much. But, you know, and when I'm not busting Jason too much, he did, you know, say talk to Kim over me because Kim hasn't been on as much. And I'm like, all right, but, you know, we're going to probably smack talk you a little bit. He's like, oh, I expect that. So you got, I mean, I
I
love
try
Jason.
not
I love
to.
you guys. Exactly.
Yes.
But, you know, I can imagine, you know, going to Asia, having some fun with your girlfriend and just unwinding is great. And hopefully Jason will have that opportunity to maybe not go to drill to the other side of the world, but, you know, actually leave the house. Because that's what I've
Yes.
always found with entrepreneurship is even when I take a break, I don't leave the house. I'm doing something else with the computer. And sometimes you got to peel yourself away from the computer. Because I mean, like, you didn't bring a computer with? Did you bring a computer with
I
you?
did
Dave?
not.
No.
No, I brought a Kindle and a phone.
And see, that's the way to do it. Is just saying like,
Yeah.
I'm off. If you need me, you can call me. Only if you need me. And also, I'm sure to say goodnight to the kids or good morning. Wait,
Yeah.
it's
I
like
think
12
that's the
hours, right?
12 hours difference. That's the working with your spouse thing. I was saying, even when I go on a vacation, if Jason's with me, like no kids, right? Great. If Jason's with me, he and I are still ruminating on work things because they affect both of us, you know, just the way
Yeah.
any couple would of what
It happens with
their
me and
spouse's
Meredith
work
all
is
the time.
going. But yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
It happens with me and Meredith all the time because it's my business, but you know, she's ingrained in it. And I feel like that happens all the time. Like we'll go out on a date at lunch. She'll work in the afternoon one day and it'll be like, well, let's talk work. And I'm like, oh, but then what else do you talk about? And then you talk about
That's
the
true. There
kid in
isn't much
school.
else.
You talk about the kid in school or the dog and her training and stuff like that. It's life, you know, and that's kind of
It's
the
life.
fun thing. So what now this can be multiple fold because you can say what you carry. The question is, what is the important thing to carry with you all the time? Now you can do that from when you're in Asia, you can do that from when you're at home, you can do this a couple of different ways.
Is this a
What's the most
physical
important?
thing?
It can be whatever it could be what you bring
Oh,
with you
gosh.
mentally. You can go as deep as you want with this.
Oh, okay. I will go deep and I will say
Ooh.
that it's definitely like giving yourself grace. And it's something I struggle with, but I think entrepreneurs are so driven.
Oh
There's
God,
no
yeah.
end to your to do list, there's no completing anything,
Mhm.
you know? So I think it's getting to the point where you can say, like, that's enough for today, or I did enough yesterday. I feel satisfied with myself. Yeah, we're our own worst critic, our own worst enemy, and
Mhm.
there's no one giving you a performance review. There's no one giving you a guidebook to say,
Ooh, Jason
"Are you
better not
you're
be giving
doing
me a
well or you're
performance
doing
review.
poorly."
That would not
So,
end good. That would be bad. Not that you perform badly, but you don't give your wife a performance review. But, you know,
yeah.
can you imagine? Jason says, "Kim, I'm giving you a performance review," and you're like, "You're doing what?"
No.
You're like,
I
"No,
wouldn't
not
let him.
happening. Not happening." It's just it's neat because I've known you guys for years, and I've
Mhm.
seen the evolution, and this is like you're one of the few podcast guests that I know pretty well, and I've seen the evolution of your business. And I mean, from afar, your relationship with Jason, like when you go to events, you tag team the events. You're not like you don't hang on each other. Like it's like you're there. You're Kim and Jason. You're not Kim Jason. You know, not
Yes.
you can't really do that. You can't really mix those words up. I mean, it's kind of, but you also are a name brand, which is kind of neat because they know Kim and Jason Coleman are Pay Membership Pro.
Yes.
So much so that Matt Mullenweg went for Jason's jugular. And I was very proud of you for not saying, "Don't mess with my man." You let him deal with it. I
I
could
had a few
picture Kim.
drafted tweets, but I didn't let them out into the world. It's that art of writing the mean email and not sending it, right?
Yeah, and
It's
letting
like,
him
I
deal
got
with
it
it
out,
too.
but I don't need to fuel this fire.
And I think we all kind of went at Matt because Jason's such a sweetheart. I mean, you might know another side of Jason that we don't know, but I'm saying
No, he is.
outwardly he's the biggest teddy bear you know. He wouldn't hurt a fly. And someone went for his jugular and we're like, whoa, no, 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 no. There's plenty of other ass hats out there, and never get the explicit tag right there, but there's plenty of ass hats in the WordPress ecosystem. Jason and Kim are not one of them.
No,
And
and he's probably even more concerned, more committed to open source than like any product owner I know.
yeah,
And he's more passionate about it in ways no one will ever see. Decisions we make,
yeah,
it seems like financial decisions all the time in business, but we make the one that leans toward being more open, being more publicly available, being more free,
yeah,
more often than not, because we're comfortable, we're fine, and that's what got all of us here with this WordPress community was that openness. It's sad to
yeah.
see it evolve and become more commercialized and more business
It is,
focused.
yeah. It's awkward to say the
That's
least.
my shirt. Success is open source.
I know. I still need one of those shirts. I still need one of those
Yeah.
shirts. Anyhow, so I love this, and we could talk for hours. I'm sure, we do. When we go to these events, we see each other, we chat all the time. You guys are trying to do your sponsor booth, and I'm just yapping to you guys the whole time and all that stuff. It's great. But where can people find you? Where's your hangout online? Like, is it LinkedIn? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook? Ugh.
I'm trying to be more active on LinkedIn, but it's a challenge because I
Yeah.
don't think everyone's come over there. So the best place is really X or Twitter. Coleman K83, you'll find me. But I'm also in the Make WordPress Slack if you need to find me.
You're
Or
everywhere.
you
No,
can,
literally, if you're in WordPress, she's there.
yep,
I think you're in every WordPress Slack out there.
I try to be.
Yeah, and you guys are very accessible. That's one thing I like about Payment Membership Pro. It's not like it's hierarchical. I mean, like, yeah, you guys are the owners, but literally some shit hits the fan. I'm like, Cam, something broke. And you're like, what? What? Well, let me fix it.
Yep.
Let me fix it. What happened? And like, not always do you see it, the head of the company jump in and say, what the, all right, let's fix it. Not that there's any problems with the plugin, but plugins, it's open source. Crap happens all the time. So, and then people can find you at pmpplugin.com, right?
pmproplugin.com, you'll
Pro
get
plugin.
there.
I was so
PM Pro
close.
plugin. Nah, you're fine. We need that domain.
Yeah, exactly. We'll put it in the
paid
show notes. But
memberships
it's a
pro.
great
Yeah.
plugin, great community, and I mean, and honestly, the base is free. I'm seeing this, get it, play with it, and then if you need extra support and stuff, that's when you kind of say, "Hey, here's some scratch. Let's talk and get stuff rock and roll." So I like your business model as well.
Cool.
That it's like, here's our product. Let us know if you need help.
Yep.
It's great. Kim, thanks for so much for being on. It's been so much fun. I'm glad we finally got you on. I've been talking about this for a while, so
I'll rebook. This was great. It went by too fast.
it goes by fast. It always does. But I like keeping them around 17 minutes and so
It's
because
good.
they're digestible. They're not like these, like the Twit network that goes for 2 hours. I'm like, it's literally the Sunday Times every Wednesday, or every
No time
Sunday.
for that.
I don't have time for that. Exactly. Anyhow, Kim, thanks for being on, and we'll see everyone next time.
Bye-bye.
That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneur's Enigma, please review us in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps other podcast listeners find our show. If you're looking for other podcasts in the marketing space, look no further than the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcasts.net. Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode.